Bro, I am a 5'3" teen. No, I cannot help you, by user _gaming. This happened this past weekend, so I wanted to share. So I had just gotten out of school, so I decided to go down to Target and get some candy. Just a reminder, my school uniform is a red polo shirt with the school logo and black khaki pants. Keep this in mind. So I enter the store and walk straight to the candy aisle to treat myself to some candy. While scrolling through the shelves, I get myself all that good stuff. I'm talking about jumbo bags of M&Ms, and Sour Patch Kids. Now, because I have my AirPods set to active noise cancellation, I didn't notice a woman standing behind me until she tapped on my shoulder. Most of you know where this is going. She's about 5 feet 7 inches. Karen's haircut looks like a Karen. Dresses like a Karen. So she says, very smugly, "What is wrong with you? You employees get lazier every time. I need you to put that candy back and go get this for me." Now she showed me a picture of the Flintstones children's gummies, something I use as well. Well, what are you just standing there for? Go. Get them. For me. She says and snaps her fingers. Now I really hate when people snap their fingers at me. I then say, okay, 1, don't snap your fingers at me, and 2, I do not work here. I'm a kid. Now my city does have job offers for teenagers in the summer. I can show you to an employee who can help you with that. I do not care if you are not working in the vitamins section. Go get them. So I'm like, alright, fine. So instead of taking her to the vitamin section, I took her to where the hearing aids were and walked off. She said, excuse me. This is not where they are. I said, oh, I figured since you didn't hear me the first time, I thought you might have hearing problems. So in case you didn't hear me before, I don't work here, and I'm only 15. Now please stop bothering me. And I walked off. I took the bags of candy I still had in my hand and took it to checkout. Just to see Karen again. My first thought was, how the hell did you get here so fast? But I ignored it and just said, okay bro, I just told you to leave me alone. Clearly you have some type of hearing problem. Go get me what I asked for now before I take that candy from you. No. She proceeds to grab the candy out of my hand, but I dodge it and move past her since she was blocking the self-checkout and all the other ones were taken. An actual employee, the manager says, ma'am, please leave this kid alone, I want you to fire him because he's being lazy and not doing his job. You fellow Hispanics are all the same. He also assaulted me, he slapped me. So while dodging her, I did accidentally give her a light tap on her arm. A witness nearby says, listen here Karen, he didn't touch you, he's a kid, leave him alone. If you bother him again, I'm calling the cops for harassment. Now please leave. The Karen tries to push the guy, but he stands there. Judging by the looks of him, yeah, you not gon' move him anywhere without force. Manager finally says, ma'am, I may have to kick you out and please don't come back. I will be calling your corporate for this. This isn't the end. She says. I thank the guy, pay for me stuff and walk out. I do wait 10 minutes before I walk out though, so I don't see the Karen again. Update, so thanks for pointing out that hearing aid batteries are not the same as hearing aids. Where's the mackerel salad, by user Bob. A short and sweet story that happened just 20 minutes ago, when I started typing. I was out doing some late night shopping. Just getting some small random things like soda and sandwich stuff. It's 30 minutes from closing, everyone there just wanna get in and out with no fuss. Well, there was a guy in the way of the meats and he looked to be struggling. Sticking things all the way up in his face to read it, and even then he could only make out the bigger letters. In other words, he's almost completely blind. By sheer luck he flags down a worker to get help. The worker just tentatively points in a direction which our visually impaired protagonist can do little with. But he still thanks the guy for stopping regardless. My hoodie happens to be a very similar color scheme, so he thinks I'm working and asks me where the mackerel salad is. I told him flat I didn't work there, but didn't know. He apologized and explained his poor eyesight. Looking defeated and frustrated, he goes to wait for another worker to come out from the back to seek help again. I gave him 30 seconds of my time to find what he was looking for, flag him down, tell him the price, and see his happy smile as he thanked me. Worth the effort. Do you work here? By user educational_car_615. This takes place in fall of 2015 at your local Kroger's Associated Brand store, in the office supply aisle. I was wearing a black top and a tropical print orangey red skirt, relevant later. I was in the middle of trying to apply to grad school, and needed to give my letter writers certain info so they could submit my letters of recommendation for the programs that I was applying to. I tried to soothe my anxiety about doing this by being super fussy about these folders. I was looking for a certain kind of folder that had 3-hole punch bindings already in them. The bin of folders just happened to be at the floor level, and so I was crouched down on the floor, intently sorting through them. As I dug through the folders to select the perfect 3, I heard somebody loudly shout down the aisle. Focused on my task, I ignored this entirely. I had just about picked my favorites when, to my surprise, a middle-aged brunette woman was suddenly standing right over me. She was right in my personal space. The edges of her shoes were near my rear end. She then shouted down at me, "Do you work here?" I kept my body still and calm, crouched on the floor, and slowly turned my head to face her. I'd already done my time dealing with her type as a barista, a waitress, a call center customer service rep, and on and on. I've been called every name under the sun for a paycheck and worse, and that tone filled me with an instant rage. "No," I coldly replied to her, giving a death stare right back up at her, right back up into enraged face as she glowered down at me. It was only then that I realized that she had already shouted "Do you work here?" at me from down the aisle before, and I ignored it entirely, because I don't. Fortunately, this Karen took the hint. She walked off muttering under her breath to go find an actual employee to berate, and I already felt sorry for whatever unlucky victim she found. I realized checking out that the staff at this store wear red and black uniforms, and I guess my orangey skirt and black shirt must have been enough of a visual cue for this heinous Karen. I still think about it sometimes when I go to that store. I hope she never found what she was looking for that day. Dressed for Success, by user Skylark Landing. I've been mistaken for an employee in a few places, but this one caught me off guard as it wasn't a store. Some years back I was on an Amtrak train to a job fair, and a lady stopped me on my way to the bathroom to ask for a pillow. I was confused why she was asking me and not a conductor, until it occurred to me what I was wearing: black slacks, a white button-up shirt, and a blue vest. Once I explained I wasn't a conductor, she apologized, but I did make sure not to wear that vest on future train trips.